Rand Paul joins us now. Hey, Rand, how are you?
Good morning. Glad to be with you.
Well, you are an ophthalmologist, so I think that we should just do. I think you need to do what you can to help your opponent see correctly and see the sea of humanity out there at these Tea Party rallies, where people are more informed than ever, Rand Paul, about the issues that matter. He said apparently when asked yesterday whether he regrets these comments, he said absolutely no, and he's going to continue them.
Well, I think he really ought to be embarrassed. I mean, for goodness sakes, the last time we used gossip and hearsay to condemn people was 12th century Venice. It's been a long time that we've taken out anonymous hearsay from our court system. It really has no place in civil discourse. I mean, really, how do you respond if someone says, well, when did you quit beating your wife?
Yeah, exactly.
Any response to this gives credence to the fact that an anonymous person can accuse you of things. I mean, I think it's outrageous, but I think you're also right. He can't talk about President Obama's agenda because it's very unpopular in Kentucky, so he has to make this about personally vilifying my faith and my family. I mean, my wife is upset about this. My wife is going to make public comments about it today. I mean, it's really just amazing that someone could attack your religious values.
Well, I'm not that I'm here to give you advice, but to me, this is just if I were you, I would just laugh this off and oh my God, this guy's talking about what we did in college. I mean, why don't we just have a food fight like the old Animal House movie? I would say, Jack, you and I are going to get into togas, because if you really want to go toe to toe on college stuff, let's just be in costume too. All right, that's what I was. I don't even think you don't even need to go down that road of he's offending my faith. He's offending a sense of propriety and common sense. That's what he's offending. He's embarrassing himself and embarrassing the political process. The state of Kentucky, all the people in Kentucky, they see right through this nonsense. I wouldn't waste your time on it. I think just leave it to us to just ridicule, because we're having fun with it. I do have one question though, Rand, about this. How did Aqua get attached to Buddha in these college pranks? Because I find it hilarious. It's like stuff we did at the Dartmouth Review. I mean, it's just insane. I love it.
I wish I had a great story about it, but I don't really remember anything about this story because I don't know who the woman is. I don't remember, and I don't agree with her characterization. The only thing I remember from college of these little pranks is that we were kind of nerds. We used to sometimes take people and we would read Nietzsche to them because we thought we were really clever.
Oh, my God, that's sad.
Most people thought we were a bunch of nerds, but nobody, I think, ever thought we were kidnapping them or making them pray to some idol. Because the thing is that it's just so ridiculous that, no, it wasn't some big thing that any of us remember. I mean, I talked to other people that were, part of some of these hijinks, and none of them remember this woman or any of her characterization of it.
But Rand, see, I think people kind of look at you like you're this, you're kind of a weenie doctor who's a conservative, and this kind of makes you a little bit cool. I mean, I kind of dine out on this. This makes you look kind of like a cool guy you're in college, and you're the typical college student. You aren't just a weenie, and you guys, I think, it's kind of like the Dartmouth Review. When I was editing that newspaper, you kind of were the precursor in a way to the Onion. This is kind of some of the stuff you guys were writing. I was reading it. I think it was hilarious. So I wouldn't even run away. I mean, I'm not always the nerd that I appear to be. Sometimes I can make Nietzsche cool and make, I think it ends up making you look good and him look pathetic. So I don't want to waste time on this. I want to play a soundbite for you, Rand. This was David Axelrod, who was out yesterday. He was pretty much on talking to anyone who would talk to him about why things haven't quite panned out with jobs and so forth in the Obama administration. Listen to the depths that he's going to spin this.
We have this parallel system in the shadows in which people can give $100,000, $1 million, $10 million, not the captains of these industries and special interests, and it throws us back to the days of the robber barons and the Gilded Age.
The robber barons, Rand? Do we want to comment on that?
Well, I think it goes back to their fundamental dislike of all things business. When you talk to small businessmen and women in Kentucky, they feel like there's a war on business. Every turn they go, there's a new regulation or a new looming tax. And this administration just probably will go down in history as the most anti-business administration we've had. And really what we need is someone who understands that businesses create jobs, not government. And so it really is about fundamentally who has the best vision for the country. Is the vision private businesses, individual entrepreneurs, or is it the vision that the government simply prints up money, borrows money, or taxes money in order to try to create government jobs? And I think if the election is held on those issues and less about college pranks, I think we have a pretty good chance of winning on the issues.
Yeah, well, I sense, and looking at Pelosi's poll numbers, did you see she's about Joseph Stalin, kind of Mahmoud Ahmadinejad levels today at 29%? That's where she is right now in the approval rating, 29%. I mean, that's just, I don't even know what to say. At this point, I'm almost feeling sorry for her if she didn't ram through that health care bill. But, I mean, right now it's clear that people are in a full-scale revolt against the submersion and the dismissal of their will and their intention. I mean, and I think Democrats are surprised that people are turning out. You know, I spoke at a 5,000-person Tea Party rally in Houston the other day. People are like, oh, why are all these people turning out? Well, maybe because you passed legislation that nobody wants.
Well, and I think what's most galling about Obamacare, you know, was her statement that we can read about it after the fact, after it's passed. And the interesting thing about it is the more we read about it, the less we like it. We just learned this last week they've been hounding me about possibly saying at some point in the future we might have to change the deductible on Medicare. Turns out Obama already has. Under Obamacare, if you have Medicare Advantage, which is 11 million people, your deductible has already gone up under Obamacare, and you will pay nearly $1,000 more out of pocket. And the real question is, with the baby boomers retiring, there's more pressure on Social Security, more pressure on Medicare, and yet they've created a new entitlement program by taking $500 billion out of Medicare to create a new entitlement program. These are serious issues that we really need to have a good discussion about. I think if you have that discussion in Kentucky, we win it hands down.
Well, I don't know what you would know about that. You're only a doctor. I mean, come on. I mean, the idea that you know anything about the healthcare industry, practicing physicians. I actually like to talk to the people who are actually involved in the healthcare business because they know what's happening. They know the level of service, and they know how reimbursements work, and they know how business expansion, practice expansion can work. And friends of mine who were about to launch new outpatient clinics, one in particular ran in urology, they canceled the entire project because of Obamacare.
Yeah, and I think you're seeing this throughout business, not just healthcare, but small business people come to me all the time and they say they're uncertain what to do.
Yeah, of course.
A small businessman came up to me in Owensboro yesterday or a couple of days ago and said, from Obamacare, he's going to have $400,000 in fines because he runs a temp agency, and it will put him out of business. Another insurance company came up to me recently and said, you know what, the tax that's going to be on insurance companies will be greater than my net profit.
Oh, no.
This is a pretty big insurance company.
Yeah, well, this is the goal. I have a question for the October 25th debate, Rand. First of all, are you going to show up?
We're going to have an announcement by Friday. We're still discussing whether it, on the one hand, I think it's demeaning to me to appear with this guy.
No, you got to show.
If he makes the whole debate about my religion, it really demeans the voter. But on the other hand, I've appeared on the person's program who does this, the announcer. I know him to be a fair individual. And I think the voters deserve to hear about the issues. But if we decide to do it, it will be only under the rules that we're going to talk about the issues of the day and not sit there and have him rattle off accusations about my religion. Yeah, I mean,
but Rand, here's, I mean, again, I'm not a political consultant, but this is just, I'm a kind of a regular person, and I see how people are looking at these things. If you're going to be up there and you're going to be going up against, Senator Feinstein and all these people who are these crafty liberal senators, if you win the Senate seat, you got to look like you can go up against Jack Conway, who looks like he just got off a Brill Cream commercial. I mean, no offense, but I wouldn't worry about that one bit. And also, I just FedExed you something. Do you want to know what it is?
What's that?
I FedExed you a little buzzer for your hand, so when you go to shake his hand at the end of this debate. It was just a little buzzer, just a little message to Jack Conway. Thank you for all your kind words about my college pranks. So we want you to show up because you're bigger than this, and it's no big deal. I think you look like the big man in all of this anyway. Rand Paul, we really appreciate your joining us, and best of luck in the home stretch here. We know you're going to do great.
Thank you, Laura.
All right, you take care. Rand Paul on the Laura Ingraham Show. I maintain that the college hijinks actually makes him look and seem like just a normal guy. What's wrong with that? I wouldn't run away from it. I'd embrace Aqua Buddha.